All right, welcome everybody to, well, now we have a name, to Gordium's YouTube channel. Gordium is the city where the Gordian knot was, and our goal is to have kind of a whole host of Gordian knot type impossible problems all in one place that we can tinker with and hopefully solve. I'm Jimmy. I'm a software developer at Atomic Object. Neil. I don't want to say everything for you. So what's
Oh, it's always good fun to just see how much I can wait, and then how much you can say. Yeah, I'm Neil. I like to make Jimmy talk.
It's not hard to do. It's really not challenging. One day we'll just have a content. I'll like rise to the occasion one day, and we'll just sit here in silence.
No, if you sit, I think my threshold is only a couple seconds.
Okay.
But
well, next time, folks, I'm not gonna try to introduce Neil. I'm just gonna wait in silence. I guess a little bit about what we do here. We were just talking about this, like our influences that drive us. So one influence is Paul Graham's idea that problems are more worthwhile than ideas. So we always start with problems, and then from there we kind of iterate on some solutions and kind of brainstorm. And then at the end, our hope for every problem is to either categorize it, which we'll get into our categories in a little bit, or write a test, which is kind of from Lean Startup by Eric Ries, or now we're reading Lean Analytics. So it's getting even more exciting. So that's kind of our process. And that's what we'll be doing today. So we've got, I think, 4 ideas for today. We're starting with, there's a lack of good info about local restaurants. I'm excited about this one. It might have been me that put this in here.
Yeah, probably.
No, this looks like you're writing though.
I'm not sure.
Do you have anything else on restaurants?
I don't.
Random local restaurants in here. I'm kind of surprised we don't have restaurants. I want to look for local, maybe. Oh, that's all my project. Oh, chain stores don't have enough autonomy. Local stores don't have autonomy.
Yep.
It doesn't look like it. This is kind of I'm surprised because this is like an area I'd expect we would really be into. I'm so bummed that's not working.
Yeah, I think some additional context. Certainly I am big into localism. I think I've influenced Jimmy a little bit in that area too. So I guess if you want some more background, check out Strong Towns.
Yeah, that's what I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've got a podcast, a website. But this is like this is right up Strong Town's alley, is like figuring out ways to get your local economy to work better, longer term. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like our solutions. Okay. I mean, this may be a hot take, but I think Yelp sucks for finding good restaurants. Oh, I guess that's Yelp and Google. Because, like, for example, like ratings are like a load of crap, right? I mean, the FCC is now just starting to regulate ratings and reviews, because there's so many fake ones, and they're going to start fining people for it. Also, sorry about my dog in the background. He's enjoying. Yeah.
And then also with ratings, we all map, to the ratings differently, right? It is,
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure. Jimmy and I are reading the book Noise. I'm not sure, Jimmy, have you gotten to that section about mapping?
No.
Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. So in that book, they talk a little bit about how, mapping is really hard when it's a scale that doesn't have any reference points. Um, and it would be better to have a comparative list or to have anchored subjects.
Oh.
Um, which
Oh.
I think there's a reason why, Google and Yelp don't have those, because there's not a shared reference point that, everyone can use. But perhaps that would be, if it's only focused on local restaurants, then you would be able to rank, because a lot of the people rating a given restaurant would likely have eaten at other local restaurants.
Oh. Blue, young man. I'm sorry, dude. I gave him a big cardboard box yesterday. He's just going after it. Okay, so we have a connection to noise here. I want to capture that. Some of the noise. It's by Daniel Kahneman, right?
Yeah. And Cass Sunstein and
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it at old Danny boy. So the problem is well defined in noise, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a mapping problem.
Yep.
Like, so what do you mean? So we struggle. You were talking about subjects of comparison or direct comparison.
Yeah. So say I go to a good restaurant. Jimmy and I go to a good restaurant, and we both agree that it's above average, but not the best restaurant we've ever been. I might have a pretty lenient scale and
Oh,
say that's a 5-star restaurant, whereas Jimmy might have a more stringent scale and say, no, 5 stars is reserved for the best restaurants. This is only a 4-star.
so our current system implies everyone has the same scale. Like 3 stars means the same thing.
Yep.
A better system would be ranked comparison.
Yeah, either ranked, force people to say which one's better, or if you have common set points, right? So if Jimmy and I, say we went to restaurants every week, and we said, okay, restaurant A is a 3-star, restaurant B is a 5-star, right? Then you would be able to more easily map.
Oh, like keep the common set points are people.
Are other restaurants that
compare people's ratings across restaurants.
Yep.
Like same people. This is really interesting.
Not the same people's. It's just saying this restaurant is this.
What do you mean?
So it's assuming that you give them like an objective rating, right? And you say McDonald's 2-star. And it doesn't matter if you think McDonald's is 2-star or 1-star or 5-star. You will just, that scale will be defined as, okay, McDonald's is 2-star.
Not like 2 out of 5.
I'm not sure you get what I'm saying.
I don't think so.
So say, say there's someone took the ACT score or the ACT test, and then I asked you to give me out of 5 stars. That's a hard map to do, because is 5 stars only 36, or is 5 stars, anything, that you deem as good, or as really good. Whereas if I told you, hey, a 25 is a 3 stars, and a 33 is a 5 stars, right? I give you context in that scale. It becomes a really easy mapping choice.
So if McDonald's is 2-star, then
Yep.
then like a really fancy restaurant would be 2 McDonald's.
Yeah, it just gives you more context in the rating. And it ends up making that matching problem much simpler.
Okay. So what would that look like as a system then for the restaurants?
I'm not sure it can.
Okay.
Because I don't think there's, commonality, right? We all perceive restaurants differently. So, and we don't have the same experience of restaurants, right? I might put see, with that, you need to all have you all need to understand the reference.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Because if we said, restaurant, C is this, but if you've never been to restaurant C, that anchor is useless.
Yeah. Okay. But I think the ranked comparison would be interesting.
Yeah.
And then,
I think that would be a huge, leg up that a local restaurant comparison could have, as opposed to, other online services.
And I think, like, how LinkedIn asks you, like, who would you go to for SQL or leadership? I think it'd be similar to that. You could just have, like, when someone joins Yelp Blue, hey, you could just use that type of comparison. I'm gonna take the cardboard away because it's driving me nuts. But yeah, so I'll be right. Hi, buddy. I'll be right back. Oh Lord, this is how much cardboard we're dealing with here. Oh, probably a mistake. Hi, buddy. All right, that should curb the most of it. So a solution would be, sweet boy. Let's see, the solution. I think a ranked comparison. It seems like a ranked comparison similar to LinkedIn. And could this be gamified?
Yeah. So I think of like Google rewards will sometimes ask you, have you been to this restaurant? And then you get, a couple of cents, right? And then often they just start trying to get you to, review it. But if they had, if it knew what restaurants you had been to and compared to other restaurants, it would have a bank of places you had been. So then it could, ask you to compare it. Was it better than this one? This one?
Like, could this be personalized in a way that makes you like a curator?
Yeah, I mean, it could potentially see how, right, match you to other people, right? See how similar your ranking is to another person.
Mhm.
And then it could make recommendations based on that. Yeah, I guess this is um all under the assumption that we all have, if we get rid of the noise, it's noisy and not biased. Well, I guess not biased because, if
Yeah.
if I, it's assuming that, even though Jimmy and I are different people, you know, we would always say this, nice Italian restaurant is better than, this taco shack. When,
Yeah.
Jimmy might be, a big taco fan, and it doesn't matter that, the taco shack is indeed just a shack.
What
So
if we
do we have the same scales? I guess that's a question.
Well, I wonder if like ranking by type of restaurant would reduce that enough. Like maybe instead of just saying of all restaurants, maybe it's like, okay, what's your favorite Mexican food in Grand Rapids? What's your favorite Italian food in Grand Rapids?
Yeah, I
Favorite fast food?
I think there is value though in,
Like a raw.
yeah, because
Yeah.
like I was going on a road trip a couple of weeks ago with a friend, and we were just in some town, and it was like, we need to find a restaurant, like, show us like the, yeah, we wanted,
What if
we couldn't,
yeah.
yeah, we just wanted a single data point
What
and
if you
had
could
no,
do Tinder for restaurants? Like what if it literally just showed you in that city two different choices and you just swipe, 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 swipe. Culver's versus Wendy's. Which one would you have? Okay, I would take Culver's. Right. All right. Now Culver's versus this local spot. Okay, which one I have?
yeah, but I think that is dependent on you tasting the food, right? Culver's and Wendy's, you've had both Culver's and Wendy's.
I think there's other factors though. I think like I know I would prefer like a local spot to Culver's as long as it's somewhat nearby.
Yeah.
I would rather try something new. Whereas I mean it's not always true.
Yeah, I think a key part for having people rate restaurants would be to have them try restaurants.
Well, I guess that it's a different like that wouldn't be so much rating as just finding, right? Because and I think that's kind of the root problem. The reason there's a lack of good info about local restaurants, the problem is because it's hard to choose.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to choose because the reviews are useless and you just get a deluge of information. So there's
Yeah.
like two ways to solve that. You can simplify the comparison or you can get better data.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
think with Tinder for restaurants, it's just simplifying the comparison.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
both are very interesting.
Yep.
And makes me want to do like, I feel like our test is like ranking restaurants in Grand Rapids. Do you know restaurants in Grand Rapids well enough to do that? Would that be
No.
okay? I'm
Um,
gonna do that.
I also think that Grand Rapids is a bit of a large test bed.
Oh, we know Holland well, don't we?
Yeah, so Holland might be better.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea.
Um, yeah, where we know people, and many people
Ooh.
know most of the restaurants. And then we could just Wizard of Oz it.
I also wonder, like, could we build out a simple web app that just does the comparison? Like, we could hard code in Grand Rapids restaurants
Mm-hmm.
and just then, like, that's how we decide we're, try that and see if that's even fun. And if it is, then, we could start to figure out how to do that at a larger scale.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be a lab, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, I want to do this.
I think this would also be, a stretch connection, but try to reach out to someone at Strong Towns.
Yeah, and see what they think of it.
Yeah, and maybe that would, come after a lab.
I like this a lot. I guess so. Questions I have, like, why hasn't anyone done this before? Like, have people tried it before? How would this be monetized? Right? Because I think that's why, this is my guess. That's probably why people haven't tried before, is because the way people monetize something like this is advertising based.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also am curious how much sort of web and app development is in a rut of web development, and web development started when there wasn't GPS location for your computer, right? So if that just put them on a track, right, and it's like, okay, we don't know where you've been, so all we can do is give you a scale to rate things on. So I guess there's just a mismatch between what technology is available and what people use.
I think noise presents some interesting things for the tender version. Because then you really learn, like, what people chose out of many options. And you could create like a simple mechanical model if you have some amount of data about restaurants that's set and constant.
Yeah. Oh, also from noise, a different solution would just be to break it down into independent categories. Right. So you'd say cleanliness of restaurant and price and quality of food. Right. And then rating each of those would be easier.
So this like reduces noise.
Yeah.
By clearing up what is being rated.
Yep.
So yeah. I was actually surprisingly good.
Yes. Also, that was 23 minutes. So.
Oh, wow. We might just have one problem today.
Yep.
Let's call
it. It was a deep dive.
It was a deep dive, folks. Thanks for joining us. Sorry about the interruptions, but we made it. Thank you for hanging out with us here at Gordium. Have a good day.